very little. And even most of the stuff that's sold to the wealthy Asians is going to be like Rolexes, which is Swiss, or
Yep.
or maybe Louis Vuitton, which might be Italy or France. I don't know where it's from. It's not America.
Right.
It's not from Lee
No.
Summit, Missouri. That's for sure.
And it's not from Denver. I'll tell you that much. So you look at what could China possibly do, and I'm thinking about this. It's like, okay, they could put a retaliatory tariff on that, but so what? I mean, Trump is just going to say, okay, I don't care. We don't give you anything anyways. Or they could, and we talked about this on a previous show at one point, they could dump U.S. treasuries, which they own $1 trillion of them, to devalue the currency. If you put a bunch of U.S. treasuries back on the open market, there's going to be a flood of supply, not enough demand. The prices will come down, like Massey's dilution comment. But then if they do that too quickly, they shoot themselves in the foot because they still have $1 trillion of U.S. treasuries. So they're probably not going to want to do that. So then, how about if we really want to dethrone mighty King Dollar and de-dollarize the world, what if we just attack the stock market? Which is what they did with DeepSeek, right? Because, I mean, 2 weeks ago, nobody knew what DeepSeek even was. Came out on a Friday. Exposed its ugly face to the world. But in December, this isn't very old. In December, 3 Chinese companies came out with their own AI platforms, all at the same time, released it a week after the inauguration. The timing, to me, is not coincidental.
Yep.
It's like this was a shot across the bow saying, Trump, you better not put tariffs on China because we're now going to destroy the stock market. And so that's how you start to use economic warfare to erode Americans' confidence, not just in their government or in their banks that are undercapitalized. And FDIC only has 1.2% of all deposits insured, but their investments and their retirement portfolios. This is how, if I were them and I wanted to do an economic warfare, okay, start eroding people's confidence. Because you're not going to beat Trump at a tariff game.
Right.
So what can they do? They can actually do some of that. But you're already starting to see things rebound a little bit. Right? Because Trump is going to say, bring it on.
Right.
Seriously, Trump, 47 is not messing around.
Not at all.
He's going to
Not
hit the
playing
ground with a plan.
games.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
And he's putting people around him that are all in as well.
Yes.
Cutting expenses with Doge. It's like 175 million here, 200 million here, 80 million here on this crazy thing, on DEI. We spend $175 million a year making pennies. It costs 3 cents to make 1 penny.
Why? Who even uses pennies?
So it's
Nobody.
I haven't seen a penny in so long.
No.
And so just stuff like that, it's 175 million. You think, well, in terms of the whole budget, well, again, the government doesn't make anything. All they do is take our taxes and then spend them. Again, like you always use the term drunken sailors. No offense to all the sailors out there, but these guys are far worse.
I mean, so here's where this starts to really impact what we can do to be successful. Right? So when you look at these tariffs on Mexico and China, what were the exclusions? Right? There wasn't really any. Because at first they were saying, well, we're going to exclude small consumer goods. They didn't. Then they said, okay, we're going to exclude from the tariffs a lot of essential minerals and strategic metals, right? So we got the list, right? So here's where it says products covered in the tariff, and I'm going to read it. Suggests 25% of the tariff would apply to all merchandise imported for consumption other than energy or energy resources. Energy resources is defined based on Trump's January 20 National Energy Emergency Executive Order, which states that the term energy or energy resources means crude oil, natural gas, these condensates, natural gas liquids, refined petroleum products, uranium, coal, biofuels, geothermal heat, and kinetic movement of flowing water.
Okay.
So that's what energy type stuff is. Then what are some of these essential metals that they're talking about? Because if gold or silver are in this list, it's like, okay, then things that we've been talking about might not have the price impact on them. So we look at the list. What does the U.S. Geological Survey present in 2022 as the final list of critical metals? aluminum, antimony, whatever that is, arsenic, barite, beryllium, bismuth, cerium. It goes on and on and on. Gold and silver are not in this list, which means they are not excluded.
Okay.
So when you make this bar right there, that 100-ounce bar, it comes from, I would call it silver pellets, basically, that are coming in from Mexico. 80% of all the silver used to make these bars or coins in America comes from Mexico.
Okay.
80%.
Wow.
It's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's where it's mined.
It's a lot. That's where it's mined. So therefore, if there's no exclusions on that coming in, it's going to be a huge price jump to actually make silver. So here's where down the road, it's going to start to get really expensive.
That's some inside intel right there. Yeah. People need to know.
I mean, this is good. So this is great for people
that have silver?
Have silver already.
Yeah, Producer Coleman's got a map there. There's the biggest silver mines in Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, literally, it's 80%.
157 million ounces.
All the silver minted in America, the material that they use for that is coming from Mexico. And it wasn't excluded. So in time, and this is probably not going to happen overnight, but in time, as the refineries now are getting more and more material to keep up, because they probably have some inventory, not an awful lot. Refineries right now are 3 months backlogged.
Oh, really?
3 months. So that just tells you there's low supply, there's high demand. And as this keeps coming in, ultimately, we're probably no more than 3 months away then.
Yep.
From prices being up 25%. And unless there's some kind of weird thing that happens, but I kind of doubt it.
Right.
I kind of doubt it. So this
is a big deal.
Let me ask real quick. I don't know if they can show my screen on there. This is from the Zero Hedge article. This lists in 2023 numbers, the number of ounces in tons that came from what country. Number one's Mexico with 6,400 tons. China is 3,400 tons. Peru, 3,000 tons. Chile, 1,400. Poland, 1,300. Australia, 1,200. Bolivia, Russia. We're number 9 at 1,000 tons on this chart.
Yeah.
So you look at that, Mexico, tariff. China, tariff. I don't know where we stand with Russia right now. But I think there's a plan to put at least some tariff on every import in every country.
Well, there is. So Bessent, Treasury Secretary, said that he wants to have a universal tariff of 2.5% a month, adding every single month another 2.5%.
2.5%.
To kind of work their way into it, right? Because he doesn't want to shock the system too bad. So that would be a universal tariff across the board. But Trump, obviously, with China, with Canada, with Mexico, isn't doing the incremental approach. Right. And he's also said that the BRICS nations, if they don't, and he made this post on Truth Social last week, Trump did. It's like, you know what? If you keep pushing to have your own reserve currency and kick the US dollar out, we're going to have 100% tariffs on all BRICS nations. So you look at that list that was just on the screen, Mexico, number 1.
And it's not even close. Mexico, 6,400 tons.
Yeah.
China, 3,400 tons.
So that's almost half.
From those two countries, that is the lion's share.
So that is, 24.8% and 13.2%. So you're looking at literally 37% of all the silver in the world comes from
those
two countries that are going to get tariffs first.
Wow.
Right. This is why I'm excited for everybody who's invested that this is going to ultimately have a really big impact on everything that you've put your money into.
Yep.
But it's not too late to get in, right? I mean, we're looking today, silver's at 31.59. It hasn't really gone up.
Spiked.
It hasn't spiked. However, if you look at the current futures month price, which is the paper price, right? So what does that tell us? That tells us what commodities traders are willing to pay for silver for March delivery. Like if you were Sony or Samsung or Boeing or Lockheed Martin, you want to stabilize your costs, right? So you say, okay, I'm going to open up a futures contract to buy silver in March at X. Is that price lower or is it higher? That price now is $32.65 an ounce, which is a little more than $1 more than what it is today. So the world is now thinking these prices are going to go up because these companies are committing to purchasing silver at $32.65.
So they're trying to lock it in 6 days in advance, $1 higher than the current price.
Yeah. So let's say the price.
That means they think it might be
it'll go
35
up.
or something. It might be way more because they're trying to lock it in at
So
$1
this
over.
is they want to stabilize their costs to contain it so they can budget properly. What if silver goes to 40? Well, they've got a futures contract. They're buying it at $32.65. What if silver goes down to 28? They're buying it at $32.65. Right. So, but they're saying we're thinking that this is going to go up. So therefore, when 90% of all the demand for silver globally is not you and me and every flyover viewer buying it. That's 10% of the total global demand as investors. 90% is manufacturing demand because it's a manufacturing industrial metal. So when I see that they're expecting it to go up, we can be ahead of the curve, use that wisdom and discernment and guidance and courage and creativity that God instills in all of us and use these things to our benefit.
Yep.
Right? We're not going to change the global economy.
Right.
But we can identify what's going on and act accordingly.
I say act accordingly, definitely.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, that is really exciting.
I mean, it's just really cool.
It's like being at the right place at the right time.
Yeah, and it's like, to me, it's like, okay, people who invested in internet stocks in 2000, okay, right place at the right time, right? People who invested in AI stocks within the last 2 years, probably right place at the right time. People who invested in Bitcoin when it was $3.
Yeah.
Not too long ago, right?
Nope.
I mean, we're talking like 10 years ago, and now it's 100,000.
Right.
Right place at the right time. To me, this is one of those right place at the right time moments on something that's key in this world. It's not digital.
Right. It's safe.
It's not fake.
Yep.
It's not paper. It's not leveraged. It is what it is. It's real. It's a tangible asset that you can take delivery of, that you can store. Now, if I were talking about gold or silver ETFs, that's paper. Not talking about that.
Right.
If I were talking about mining shares, not the same. I don't care what your stockbroker tells you. It's not the same. The only way to participate in this market is actually buy the physical asset.
Yep. And that was something we've been talking about for, a long time, or the last few years, is having something tangible, something that you can put your hands on, so much safer than anything else.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I don't want to sound like a one-trick pony either, right? So when you look at Trump's policies, he's very much obviously pro-America.
Right.
He's doing these policies, and we just identified one way that you can participate in that. He's also seems to be very pro-crypto.
Yep.
I mean, you look at that, he wants maybe a strategic Bitcoin reserve. He's issued his own meme coin. He's very much in favor of cryptocurrency. So I think that that's going to grow as well in time. Now, you have to take that with your own worldview and philosophy and risk tolerance, right? Because what if you invested in crypto and it goes up? Great. That's awesome.
Yep.
Most of my clients, though, I'm just giving my demographic of my clients, which there's, 40,000 of them all over the world.
Wow.
I mean, it's a lot. Most of them are 50 plus.
Okay.
And they're going to say, cryptocurrency. I don't know how to open up a coin wallet. I don't know what to do. I don't know.
Or if you even feel safe with it.
I don't know what decentralized blockchain is, and how do I even get it? How do I convert it
and
into
how volatile
cash?
it is. It took like a 25% haircut over the weekend.
Yeah.
All of them. XRP, Bitcoin, everything.
I mean, a huge digger. But they're now starting to come back, but it's extremely volatile.
Right.
I've never seen silver take a 25% hit in a couple of days.
Right.
I mean, so the point is, most of my clients that are 50 plus are never going to do that. Plus, they've been through a lot. They've seen a lot. They've experienced a lot. They don't want that kind of risk in their portfolio. Plus, some of my really old clients that can remember the Great Depression.
Yep.
It's like, well, I need something that's real. I need something I can barter with, right? And this is where tangible assets that kings and kingdoms have sought after and fought after for centuries or millennia is still
here today,
time-tested and true, which is why central banks are allocating into gold by literally the hundreds or thousands of tons. Right. So
because they know.
Now, some of my younger clients might say, Kirk, I want to participate in gold. I hear what you're saying, and silver. I love that. But I'm also going to do cryptocurrency because I understand it. And I'm not afraid of digital wallets. It's like, great. That is awesome. Everybody needs to balance what they think is good and what they think is bad and the risk profile that they want to have in anything in life. But here's where times change pretty quickly. And what was a time-tested, proven thing 5 years ago even, money in the bank.
Yeah.
That used to be what people said all the time.
It's like, Kirk, I don't trust the stock market. I'm just going to sit in cash and sit on the sideline.
Oh, yeah. It's like money in the bank.
I think the most vulnerable place your money could be right now is the stock market. I mean, it gets at a peak.
Yeah.
And that world is shifting. And I think this DeepSeek exposed that.
It exposed it. And if people actually realized how little banks actually have in their vaults and how leveraged the banks are, and you see Silicon Valley Bank in 2023 went down and took down 4 other banks with it in that little contagion. I think this one might be worse. I think there is a bank crisis coming because banks are very undercapitalized, and banks always fail. Again, all of your viewers have been watching us for a while. They're going to know what we're going to say because I talk to them, and they repeat what they're hearing you guys say. It's like, yeah, banks fail because they've got more withdrawals coming out than deposits going in.
Yep.
And coming off of Biden's economy, we still have this. Trump is going to change America, but it's not going to happen overnight, right? You're not going to actually get all these people working right away that lost their jobs under Biden.
Right.
It might take a year. Who knows? But it's not going to happen tomorrow.
Right.
So, and if the BRICS nations are even remotely successful in what they're doing in squeezing some of these big banks out of their silver positions and creating a short squeeze, I mean, they're 3 months backlogged. When Russia added silver as a strategic reserve to the ruble, it's like, oh, it's going to take up a lot of the supply. We already talked earlier about how manufacturing silver, 1,000-ounce bars, are very hard to find. Well, do you think that Russia is investing in Trump coins?
No, definitely not.
They're investing in the large format bars, right? And there's very few of them. The supply is diminishing. They're already 3 months backlogged. It doesn't take too much to get silver to go up $1 or $5 or $10 an ounce. And when these banks are so highly leveraged, and it's not small regional banks that have these short positions in silver. It's not. It's big banks. It's like HSBC, Bank of America, JP Morgan Chase. They could be squeezed out of position because as silver goes up, they lose money hand over fist. This could be another attack that the BRICS nations use to de-dollarize the world and get people's confidence in America to shatter, right? Lose confidence in the government, lose confidence in their banks, lose confidence in the stock market, like what we talked about. This is just their battle plan. I don't know what else they're going to do, but they're not going to sit back idly, which is why I'm so glad that Trump is in office because he's got a thick skin.
Oh, yeah.
And he's not afraid of them, where Biden would have already buckled.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Or we wouldn't even be here. He wouldn't have even have had tariff ever.
No.
Because they were globalists. I mean, this is the problem. So I'm excited that we get to take advantage of some of these trends.
Oh, it's huge.
Yeah, it's massive.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
Can we talk a little bit about hedge funds?
Yeah. And what are they doing with this? How does all that impact them?
So if we look back last week, Trump was just projected that he was going to have tariffs come in over the weekend. Right. So on Friday of last week, hedge funds took a multi-billion-dollar bet that the stock market was going to hit the skids on Monday. Multi-billion-dollar bet. And we don't know which hedge funds they were, but you look at the list and it's like, you've got Citadel, you've got the Man Group, you've got Bridgewater, JP Morgan is in the top 10. I don't know which ones, but multi-billion-dollar debt that the stock market was going to come down. So here's where I think it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yep.
Right? Because what are they saying? They get the talking points on financial media. It's like, ooh, hedge funds and Bridgewater, they're going to multi-billion-dollar bet that the stock market's coming down on Monday. And they're shorting the markets. So they say something that the markets are going to come down while they have shorts on it. And then everybody hears that and they start selling everything. They make money hand over fist. If they have shorts on it and they're creating the narrative, they make money hand over fist. Right? So here's where, though, you could see some stock market volatility and like really bad stock market volatility because if people aren't buying a lot of stuff because prices go up and they can't really afford it yet, then you are going to get hit. But don't take that as Trump is failing. Take that as this is one battle in an ongoing war that needs to be done to make America great again. Because we have to start now creating jobs. First, you have to get people to not buy foreign goods.
Right.
When they don't buy foreign goods and they buy American goods, you're going to have to hire more people, build more factories, bring back what the enemy has stolen over the decades. I mean, this wasn't just the last 4 years. Literally, this is...
We didn't used to have a rust belt. It wasn't rusty.
Right.
No, it wasn't rusty.
Great point.
Yeah.
That's not the norm. We used to be this manufacturing superpower. We ushered in the Industrial Revolution.
Yeah.
We were the innovators of vehicles, innovators of spacecrafts, innovators of technology, innovators that the rest of the world envied and purchased from.
Yeah.
It was this almost intentional filling the house with termites that created this process. Going back to, I mean, there's a bunch of them from gold standard with Nixon to really Clinton, with NAFTA.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how big the steel industry still is in America, but the fact that we have a rust belt means it's probably not as much.
Right.
That's all gone to China. So many of those things have gone to China, and shame on the former presidents who said, I'd rather have cheap stuff from these other countries, because in our insatiable appetite to get cheaper stuff imported in, what are we exporting? We're exporting jobs.
Right.
I mean, that's exactly the net effect, because jobs always follow manufacturing. This is what Trump is turning around. And it's going to be a rocky road.
It will be, because you even think about, like, when I was growing up, we were talking a while back, just think about even like televisions. Like, they would have cabinets that televisions would be put inside of, I mean, and that became like a piece of furniture. Yeah. And you look at a television today, you can grab it for, $100 or something, for even a big one, but they don't last very long, and you have to get a brand new one. Ours, man, if the tube no longer worked, we still use that as a piece of furniture, stick another television on top of it. You just think about like the quality though of what we had, and it wasn't cheap. It did cost money, but they did last a lot longer.
Yeah. And you probably buy like people's closets should probably be 75% less.
Yeah.
And there should be 25% in there, and the things will be made better. It should be a real wool sweater, that lasts and is classic design and goes not I'm going to buy 10 of these and I'll wear a couple of them, I'll throw them out, I'll get new sweaters next season. That kind of a mindset that comes from, losing our jobs here, but we get cheap stuff. Yeah. If that reverses, we'll probably begin thinking, shopping, purchasing, and dressing like our grandparents did,
right?
Which is, wow, classic wingtip shoes. Those stayed in style. You're buying things that are quality, well-crafted things made here that are designed to last. Yeti will be kind of the standard.
I think it will be the standard, and when people buy nicer stuff that's going to last a lot longer, you're ultimately going to save a lot of money.
Sure.
I mean, every once in a while, we'll go through our closets. It's like, man, we have a lot of junk.
Yep.
Or our garages, or our storage room, or the junk drawer.
Yep.
It's like, what is in the junk drawer? It's a junk drawer. It's
right.
Junk. It's like, how did we get all this
How
stuff,
did that
right?
happen? Yeah.
So you go through and you start getting rid of all the stuff. And in my mind, I'm thinking, look at all the money we've wasted.
Yes.
That I could have done something else with.
It's true.
So we donate it. And I mean, even today, I don't know, when you start out a company like we did decades ago, and it was living on a shoestring and just wishing that we had nothing because we were so far below nothing,
Yep.
Even to this day, like my son, who's, going to be 20 in a month, he still goes to the thrift store to buy stuff because now it's kind of cool.
It's cool. It is. Yep. Exactly.
Yeah. So
that's where the cool people go now is to Goodwill. It's
but
true.
It's like I don't like spending a lot of money on stuff just because, but I'm wired a little bit differently. It's like, I want to invest. That's my addiction. I want to buy.
That's a good addiction.
I mean, if you're going to be addicted to
that's
something.
a good one.
Well, you begin to look at each dollar as, okay, is this something that I'm going to just throw in the trash? Or am I going to convert this into a bullet?
Yeah.
That's like, okay, I'm arming myself for a war, and it's a financial war. I'm going to try and protect my wife and children from the Hun. Let me ask you a question. I sent a tweet to a text group. I don't know if you want to look at it. I'm going to read it. Maybe they can put it on the screen. But this is the gold adjusted for money supply. And this is an interesting number. Let's see if you can break this down for me a little bit. I'm going to read the tweet. With gold reaching new heights, this is an economist. So you know how economists are. You spend time with more of them than anybody.
No.
With gold reaching new heights, it's only natural to ask whether it's overvalued. Gold is consistently hitting all-time high. Yet when adjusted for the U.S. money supply, gold prices remain nearly 80% below their 1980 peak. With central banks urgently accumulating the metal worldwide, a return to those levels wouldn't be surprising. This reinforces the likelihood that we are entering a long-term bullish trend for gold. And I think with that's interwoven silver, where they're tethered. Even more importantly, gold money supply terms is currently on the verge of a 45-year breakout. And look at this guy's chart. And how do we compare gold? What's the significance of the amount of gold adjusted for the money supply? And this is all the M2 money supply.
Yeah. So can you pull up on the screen usdebtclock.org? Because there it's going to show, so over on the right-hand side, about halfway down, you will see basically the dollar to gold ratio now. So we're just shy of 3,000, call it $2,800 an ounce. If you look at the money supply versus the number of ounces of gold that are available, it should be $8,906 an ounce. But that just proves your point.
Wow.
And we're not.
No.
We're less than $3,000 an ounce.
Yeah.
So gold should be almost $9,000 an ounce right now.
So
based on the money that's floating around.
Based on the amount of dollars that are in circulation
yeah.
versus the amount of ounces that have been mined and are available, it should be $8,900 an ounce. That just tells you that we're very undervalued. Now look at silver. This one's wild. So the dollar to silver ratio right now is $1,150 per ounce.
Oh, wow. Versus the $31 that it's at right now.
I mean, that just tells us how incredibly undervalued we are. Because when you looked at gold, it's like, that's a really good deal. We're like less than 3,000. It should be at 9.
Yeah.
Well, silver's $31 and something cents an ounce. It should be $1,150 an ounce.
That's why silver's such a strong move right now.
Yeah. But everything that we've talked about, the manufacturing demand, the 3-month backlog at the refineries, the increased demand that we're going to be seeing because of electric vehicles and solar. When you listen to Elon Musk talk, it's like, solar is going to be the next big thing. You have all these torpedoes and missiles and electric vehicles and new battery technology and all of this stuff. Now, like cryptocurrency and these chips that NVIDIA makes to actually make these high performance, they all need silver. You can't mine Bitcoin without having silver to run the computer chips that are doing it because it's like one of the best conductors of electricity that there is. So, you look at that and it's like, to me, if you're dealing with a manufacturing metal and you see that demand is going to go up, get it.
Right.
I mean, literally, if you allocate and invest into what these manufacturers are going to need, that's how you profit from it. But you don't have to be a hedge fund to do it. You don't have to be a big international money center bank. Like we talked before numerous times, for 3 years, you can invest into silver for $500.
Yep.
You don't need to be a big, wealthy institution or hedge fund to do it.
Right. Before we move on to this, I just want to make sure we covered everything on the hedge fund. What about like the 401ks and the kind of the potential risk for that?
So you look at when they're expecting these markets to come down, most people are tied up in something they can't get out of.
Yeah.
So here's what I think when hedge funds are starting to say this, and like we talked about, almost making a self-fulfilling prophecy, because they can short it and they make money as it comes down. But to me, that's just a foul thing to do. When people who have 401ks and pension funds, even pension funds you'd really have no control over, because they're owned by the company. Well, 401ks are owned by your company too, but at least you have like 30 or 40 choices generally. A pension fund, you just put money into it, and you might not have a choice of how they invest it. You just know, okay, if I work there for 20 years, I'm going to get 75% of my highest salary for the rest of my life. You don't have a choice. So as they start to do some of these things and it comes down, they are making money hand over fist, and yet we could actually lose as citizens, especially if you're tied up into a state pension or something like that, where you have no choice on their allocation. That's, to me, what makes it really, really bad what they're doing.
Definitely.
All right. Silver refineries in the U.S. are backed up more than 3 months. Is that true?
Yeah. So that came from one of the heads of the Scottsdale Mint. It's just a mint that's making coins and bars. 3 months backlog. So anything that's a 3-month backlog
is unbelievable.
Ultimately going to come up with higher prices, because this is just economics 101. Every price that we pay for everything, if you have low supply and high demand, it's going to go up in price. Well, what if you've got something that is so much in demand that it's a 3-month backlog, when the delivery should happen within like 72 hours?
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, this is going to actually amplify and get worse.
Wow. So what's going on in London?
Okay. This is, I think, one of the biggest financial news stories of the last year. Not just this year, not just the first month of this year, but
2024 included?
Yeah, 2024 included. So London, LBMA, London Bullion Marketing, I don't know what LBMA stands for, but London, the Bank of England stores all the gold that you're hearing about, China having 1,000 tons and all these countries storing.
Yep.
They're the ones that are storing it.
Okay.
Right. So they are running out of supply. Their inventory is gone. It's like, wait a second. What if somebody wants delivery? So normally when they deliver it 72 hours, they're now 4 to 8 weeks backlogged on gold because they don't have it in the vault.
Okay.
Well, where is it?
Yeah.
It's in New York. So this is wild. So they've been shipping into New York to get gold into the U.S., across the border before Trump's tariffs hit.
Are you serious?
Yeah, because a while back, I mean, this was only like 3 weeks ago, we actually talked on one of our shows. It's like the COMEX available silver that we can see, because it's all public knowledge, the inventories were coming down and gold inventories were going up. It's like, why would the gold inventories be going up? I mean, they're both in demand. I don't get it. Well, then I realized, it's like, it's because of Trump's tariffs. So if you're another country and you want to get it across the border, now, why would they need it to get it into the United States? Because these banks that have short positions, and ultimately we're seeing, like, I'm going to use silver as the example, but it applies to gold as well. If you look at the CME, Chicago Mercantile Exchange, and the number of silver contracts, they're coming down, which means big banks are unwinding their futures contracts. And normally, when you unwind a futures contract, it's because you're settling in cash.
Okay.
So if you're the other side of this futures contract, let's say that you are investing in pork bellies, which are pigs, right? So
we know more about pork bellies.
We know
than
about it. Kind of embarrassing. We know, yeah.
Kansas City, yes. And you've got really great barbecue.
Yep,
so you're gonna
for
know.
Sure.
But if you're investing in pork bellies, you don't want to take physical delivery of a couple semis full of pigs at your garage door. So they sell the asset, it settles in cash, and you're just using it as an investment play, right? Well, the amount of physical silver has been coming down in supply, as are the number of futures contracts, which means unwinding futures contracts and people are taking physical delivery of the silver. Why would they do that? Well, because they know if Trump's tariffs were coming, then they don't have physical delivery in their inventory, like if you're Sony or Samsung, you're going to have to pay a much higher price for it.
Okay.
So Trump's tariffs are having this huge impact already. Now, take that for gold. These banks people are unwinding their positions and are wanting physical delivery. So they have to have these in, because if they don't have gold inside the borders of America, when tariffs hit, they could be charging a lot more. And if you have short positions that you're unwinding and you have to cover it with higher priced gold, it could cause banks to go out of business. So they're all getting it across the border. See, Trump is having a huge, massive impact already, which tells me
all the cockroaches are scurrying.
Oh, yeah.
They're scurrying. But if I were another country, like China, for example, and I had my gold stored in Bank of England's vaults, and it's like, well, I want delivery of it. And it's normally 72 hours, and you're doing 4 to 8 weeks because you're sending it to America. It's like, no, I want it.
Right.
So this could have major tensions that start coming up. And this happened, this was, when was this? It was like 12, 15 years ago when the president, I don't know if it's a president, prime minister of Germany.
Okay.
I don't know what their title is, but they wanted the New York Fed to actually say, we want our gold. Send it to us. Well, New York Fed says, well, we can't. It's not there. We'll give it to you within 7 years.
7 years?
7 years. Why? Because they had rehypothecated it. They had actually leased it out to other countries. It wasn't actually there.
What?
And if I were the head of Germany, it's like, okay,
I want my money.
This is not okay.
Right.
We gave it to you for safe storage.
Yeah.
You leased it out to other countries. You don't have it. How safe is that? It's not safe.
No, not at all.
So this is the kind of garbage that's starting to happen. And you're going to see geopolitical conflict that comes from these kind of things when London doesn't have enough gold and they're shipping it to America because banks need to unwind it to cover their short positions.
Wow.
I mean, this is something that we have never seen. Literally.
Never.
None of us
because you've been
ever
doing
seen
this a long time.
Yeah, since like 2002.
Wow.
Yeah.
We're looking at 23 years here.
And you're the biggest in the country in this market. So
yeah, and silver, I mean, yeah, we are the biggest. And so I've never seen anything like this. Ever.
Wow.
So this is the kind of stuff, it's like when we talk every single week and we kind of sound like a broken record of, we keep, Kirk and David and Stacy, they keep talking about silver and blah, blah, blah. This is the reason why. And I will continue to do that until it doesn't make sense anymore. But I don't see that anytime in the near or distant future. I think the demand for electronics is not going away. The demand for solar power is not going away.
No.
The demand for nuclear power, which is supposedly clean, even though if there's ever a nuclear disaster, like everybody dies for like decades.
Right.
I mean, good grief, how clean is that?
Right.
Right. But the demand for these things is not diminishing. It's only increasing. And there's not really another alternative. It's not a complementary product. You can just use something else instead of silver. There's not.
That's it.
Yeah.
Everything that Dr. Kirk's saying, Flavor Family, just so you guys know, we will put it in the notes below, like all of the different articles or things on X. Like it's all there to show you. What about so this says gold hits high record, new record high. Dear Jerome Powell, is everything under control? What's that about? This is the zero hedge?
Yeah. The price of gold moving up, the price of metals moving up tells the world that they don't believe that the Fed has this under control. I mean, they just simply don't, because they don't have it under control. They don't know what to do. Right. And so as Trump starts to, so here's the problem that the Fed has. If Trump doesn't fix America, and really quickly, like with Elon Musk and Vivek wanting to cut $2 trillion from the budget, I think America hits a financial doomsday within a couple of years.
Wow.
I mean,
so
really,
in a short period of time.
In a short period of time. So the time is of the essence. And you got to realize none of this is Trump's fault.
Right. No. I think when he was in there, everything was going well. I
mean, this isn't even really Biden's fault.
Yeah.
This is the fault of president after president after president from 1776 until now, amassing $36 trillion worth of debt.
Man, now, what did it take to get from 1776 to Ronald Reagan? Like how much in...
We had almost $1 trillion worth of debt in 1980.
Okay.
So 1776 to 1980, that's what, 204 years.
Yep.
We went from zero to $1 trillion worth of debt.
Yep.
We're adding $1 trillion worth of debt every quarter.
Oh my God.
Every 3 months, we're adding about $1 trillion worth of debt at this pace. And that really intensified from Obama until now. When Obama became president, we had $11 trillion worth of debt. Now we're at 37.
37.
And of that time frame, it was a Democrat president, all except for 4 years.
Wow.
When Trump was in,
Yep.
Right? So it's
because that's 2008 till now.
Yeah, it's because they spend like drunken sailors. No offense to the drunken sailors.
Someone's out there. I'm a drunken sailor.
Yeah, wait a second. I am.
don't spend like that.
Yeah, I mean, so it's just wild to see how much money they are spending and thinking that that's okay.
Yeah.
It's not okay.
No.
Absolutely not
Eventually, you're going to have to pay the piper.
Yeah. And this is where Trump needs to win this. And so the fact that metals are going up in price tells us that the world doesn't think that paper is really that good anymore. So what is the Fed going to do when prices are going to go up because of the tariffs? Are they going to jack up interest rates, which is what they should do to slow that down? How can you jack them up too much when we have this much debt?
Right.
Right. This is why there's a financial D-Day that's coming, right? It's going to be a financial Armageddon unless Trump can get this. So it's got to be two things. They've got to cut spending and they have to increase revenue. They have to do both.
And then that's why the Doge Commission, so to speak, I mean, they're working out of, the office now. I mean, it's like moved up in priority. If they don't get the $2 million or $2 trillion cut, if they don't get the $2 trillion cut, I mean, it's like our budget. I could look at Stacey and be like, hey, we better double our income or cut our spending. I mean, you can only do kind of those two things.
Right.
So the tariff's going to increase income, basically, but that's not in 5 minutes. The quickest thing we can do is stop throwing 100 million here, 200 million here, 300 million. A $2 trillion cut there is going to be the quickest, most effective way to save the ship.
Yes,
Is it true?
Yes, that's like half of the equation, though. They have to get that done. They have to cut expenses. But how do you increase revenue the fastest? Number one is not let us be the ones that are paying for running our country. Let it be the tariffs. Right? So he's got that part starting to figure out.
And because that kicked in this weekend, like when does that come? Well, is it like, hey, is it on immediately as those transactions are settled in the overnight banking systems for goods? Yeah,
I don't think it's going to be immediate because we probably still have some built up inventory, right, of things that can be sold. And then once they replenish them,
we got to use up all this maple syrup we got first.
Yeah, so that's number one. But number two, imagine if Trump gets his way on getting rid of the income tax. See, now HR 25, which was floated on January 20th, maybe, like same day, is a bill that the House is floating to get rid of personal income taxes. Now, this would be the best of the best to grow the economy so quickly, because if you have other countries paying our bills and you have Americans that now get to keep 30-40% more of their income, what are they going to do? They're going to spend it. Right? They will.
It's true. You're right.
They're going to spend it. So now everything you're going to grow the economy, more people working, more people spending, sales tax revenues go up. So state and local governments are going to be more profitable. You're going to start to get rid of the pension crisis in those states. But this is how you can do it really quickly. But if you have higher prices with tariffs and people still have their tax burden that they have to pay, it's not going to have quite the effect of getting rid of all personal income taxes and having China and Mexico and Canada and Europe pay for our stuff. That's what needs to be done.
Do you think it'll happen?
Good question. Everybody's leaning in.
Yes.
Yay!
I actually do, because even though a lot of Congress is going to be opposed to this, because there's power in taxes and it's control.
Yeah.
Even with the small 2-seat majority that the conservatives have, and not a lot of those are pro-Trump, they still like power and control. However, Trump, you know, when I hear the press secretary, when she was talking about tariffs the other day, says, you know what? Campaign promises made, promises kept. I've never really seen a president where he's keeping all of these
all of them,
all of them. So,
but even ones like Russ Ulbricht or whatever, you know, the Silk Road guy, you know, he had like 2 life sentences plus 40 years. He made that promise when he was speaking in Nashville to all the libertarians, you know, and they kept him to it, and he did it like within a day or two.
Yeah,
you know, all the J6, you know, crowds, they all, but like the lion's share.
Yeah.
That had to have used more political, you know, inventory, you know, that he had than not doing it.
Yeah.
Or then maybe scaling it or trickling it out. Or we'll see. We got to put a committee and look at a month by one at a time. Like,
no, inauguration night, he was signing the executive order, executive action. He said, get this downstairs as soon as possible. I want these people out as soon as possible. I mean, he was saying that was one of the first ones he signed.
And there's nothing more bipartisan, I would think, than income taxes, except for I don't know how many Democrats pay taxes. The tops do. They got the billionaires, and then, you know, kind of that other crowd. So, but I mean, that
would be huge.
He didn't have the kind of political blowback he does for pardoning J6.
Right.
Well, but income tax, people will be like, I don't really like the guy, but you know, this is pretty sweet.
Well, I can't think of something that's going to have more public favor than getting rid of.
Well, imagine your senator votes against it.
Yeah, you'd be like,
they're
what?
Not going to get voted in.
Yeah, you're sitting there in L.A. and your house is burned down. You don't have any water. Your senator votes against the income tax. You're like, okay,
yeah,
we're done.
You know,
here's though where this is kind of wild. Like campaigns, you know, people can say anything.
Yep.
This came out. Well, it came out prior. But on inauguration night, Secretary of Commerce nominee was saying, you know what? How about we get rid of personal income taxes? Why would you say that after inauguration?
Right, yeah. That's a before.
Yeah, because now
if
it doesn't happen, you're going to say, you said all this garbage and you know, now you're a liar.
Right.
So the fact that it happened not during a campaign, but after they're already in, tells me that I think they have something up their sleeve.
Wow.
And that's why I'm very looking so forward to what comes next.
Me too.
Yeah.
That is so exciting. All right, before we let you go though, you have talked a little bit about, and we talked about last week, and then you kind of brought it back up today, the DeepSeek. Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about that and kind of the effect that it might have.
Yeah, I think it's a shot across the bow in retaliation to Trump's tariffs. Because again, China, they could dump U.S. treasuries, they could retaliate with their own tariffs, or they could start to erode people's confidence in the stock market. So here's where this technology, actually, from what I understand, and I'm not an AI expert, just an economist, it's pretty good. right? And this is why NVIDIA came crashing down, because DeepSeek comes out Friday. Monday, NVIDIA was down $600 billion.
Is that because, let me just understand this. NVIDIA stock was rising so much because everything's going AI, and you're going to need stockpiles of our product in order to make this thing function.
Yeah.
And then DeepSeek comes out and like, hey, we got something competitive, and we use like 1/100% of what you're saying they need.
Yeah.
Financially to make it happen.
In computer chips.
Oh yeah.
In processing power.
Processing power. And so NVIDIA's like, hey, we're selling all these, giant, V12 engines over here, and you guys come out with a car that runs just as fast on like a 6-cylinder.
Yeah. So
and you did it for a fraction of the price.
A fraction of the price.
Like, so the need for NVIDIA, they kind of got exposed of, hey, we're not the hottest girl in high school no more.
Correct.
It's all of a sudden it's like, hey, there's something way better over here.
Yeah. Smaller and slower.
Yeah.
Is what they're using. It's like, wait a second. NVIDIA's most powerful chips are like $40,000 and it does $1.8 trillion processing units or whatever it is, however they measure it. What DeepSeek is using is the last generation, which is like 93 billion processing units instead of 1.8 trillion. It's like, man, that's not even like 5%. However, what they did is they compartmentalized it. So if you're asking a legal question, it's only going to open up the processing units that are
needed for that question.
Needed for that. If you're asking a health question, if you're asking a political question, if you're asking whatever, it only opens that up. So you don't need one big, huge, massive brain that actually slows everything down to need something so quick. So they could do it at a fraction of the cost. And this is the implications are, well, companies like Amazon or any company that wants to use AI, it's like, sweet, I don't have to buy these expensive computers to do it. I can do it with way cheaper.
Yeah.
Which is going to increase their bottom line. And we are going into a digital world where it's Big Brother, where they'll know everything about everything. And so if I were a company and you're looking only at the bottom line, it's like, yeah, this is pretty sick technology. This is amazing. But the implications of that go all the way up to the highest levels of government.
Okay.
Because what happens if a lot of companies adopt this new, cheaper technology
out of China,
or let's say companies from America decide to mimic what they're doing? Well, then people are going to lose their jobs. And this was Elon Musk's warning to the world, like 6-8 months ago. He said AI is going to be very dangerous, and the estimates are, within 5 to 10 years, 50% of all Europeans are going to lose their jobs to a computer. 30% of all Americans are going to lose their jobs to a computer. So what happens when you lose your job? You go to the government for assistance.
Yeah.
So you're going to have unemployment insurance that goes through the roof, and the government's going to say, wait a second, these computers that are working for these companies, they don't actually make income. They're not spending anything. These computers aren't marching down to Best Buy after work and buying this new headset.
Exactly. They're not going out to dinner.
They're not doing anything. So you're going to have this massive drain on government coffers, and which is the unintended consequence of supposedly something good. Now, I don't trust it, honestly, because it's Chinese.
Right. Exactly.
I mean, when you're typing in questions into AI and it's spitting off an answer, they're collecting all of that data. They know who you are. They know what your IP address is.
Yet it's the number one most downloaded app.
I know. So
it's number one in iTunes, number one in Google.
This is now, huh?
Yeah.
In, what was it, like a week or something?
In a day.
The same day.
Same day.
Same day. And so this is why I think it's a shot across the bow. And because in December, within 3 days, 3 AI companies came out of China in 3 days. It's like, was this just magic?
Right.
The 3 companies came out within a week of a few days of each other? No. The timing was intentional, in my opinion, when you look at it like that. And it was a week after the inauguration. Again, why? To dismantle people's confidence in the stock market. Because NVIDIA came crashing down, and chip manufacturers like AMD came crashing down, because now people realize we don't have to buy their expensive stuff. So therefore, NVIDIA, which so many people, it was like the poster child for stock market success for the last couple of years.
Oh, it was the darling.
Oh, yeah.
It was. And so now maybe it's not going to be. And what does that do to the rest of the AI space? I don't know. But then 4 days ago, Alibaba, another Chinese company, said, ooh, our new AI model is even better than DeepSeek. So it's like, what is all this data gathering stuff coming out of China for?
Well, they've been collecting on TikTok for years.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then it comes out that NVIDIA may have been, going around the tariffs and using different factories in Singapore to funnel things through. And it's like, it's just crazy, right? So to me, the economic impact could be on the stock market. It could be on government coffers as more people want unemployment insurance. It could be companies wanting to say, let's not hire people anymore. The danger with that is going all the way back to the first Terminator movie.
Yeah.
Right? Really,
it's a freaky, man.
When
you watch
Skynet took over and the machines became smarter than the people, and they decided we're gonna actually start a war against our creator. And when you have computers that are making decisions for everything, it's like they don't have the intuition and the Holy Spirit guidance that we have.
No.
God created us, and I know both of you well. I've known you for decades, right? And it's like we've all made decisions where it's like, you know what? This might not make the most sense, but I just have a gut feeling about it.
Yep, sure.
That's Holy Spirit speaking. Computers are never going to have that, ever. It's just going to be black or white, on or off. Imagine a computer being the judge in a court case.
Can't even imagine.
Well, they've already determined it. It determined misgendering Caitlyn Jenner is worse than a nuclear war. That's an AI response. And you're like, well, maybe the best way to keep people from misgendering someone is to eliminate people. Because then if that's the highest priority, like they're only as good as the programming that went into them.
Yeah.
You just think about God already gave this example in the Bible, thousands of years ago with Solomon, with the two ladies that said they had their baby, that was the same. And he goes, we'll just cut it in half. Then let's just split it. And the real mom's like, no, you can have it.
Yeah.
That's how he knew who the mom was.
Yeah.
What is a computer going to do? Split the baby in half. It can't reason. It doesn't have any Holy Spirit guidance within them saying, hey, the real mom's going to step forward if you do this. It doesn't have that.
No, it doesn't have that at all. Right? Which is, you think, okay, what are other applications? How about the Tower of Babel, right? You look at where people try to outsmart God and be a God. And it's just not going to work.
Nope.
It's not going to work. But to me, this is all prophetic in the outcome. This is the mark of the beast kind of technology. And this is Skynet from the Terminator movie. This is what Kurzweil from Google, one of the first originators in all of this stuff, and his concept of singularity, that's his prophetic vision now coming true. Singularity is simply where computers can replace humans. They become smarter. Maybe a computer can do math way faster than I can. Computer's never going to make a wiser decision than we can.
No.
Because they don't have God.
That's right.
Breathing into their hearts and minds and ears and causing them to act.
And it sounds like the U.S. Navy kind of drew a line in the sand, and they're like, nope, DeepSeek, we're not going to allow you to do this due to security reasons.
Not just security reasons, but ethical reasons, too.
Interesting.
Yeah, so security and ethical reasons. They said, no more DeepSeek for the U.S. Navy.
That's a good thing.
It is good.
What's the ethical reason?
Giving all kinds of, security would be giving data to China. The ethical reason is, I would say, why are you feeding the beast? Right? These are the people that we're economic war against. It's not just a security concern, but there's a massive ethical dilemma here when
giving jobs to other countries.
Giving jobs to other countries.
Sam Walton's kids buying at Target kind of thing.
Yeah. That kind of idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Well, that's encouraging. That is really, really good to hear. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a start.
This is really good. It is a start.
Yeah.
It makes sense. and you get into, well, it's available on the Apple Store, available on the Google Store. When there was all this talk about, outlawing TikTok, like, I get it. It's Chinese technology and it's gathering all the information. I'm kind of at the same time against the government being able to take any website and say you're down, because then they can say, well, I also don't like, Flyover.live either very much. And so you're down. So that kind of ability for them to be able to do that. But here's the thing. We're in uncharted territory. We did, choose, for example, seed oils. Well, they're not good for you. They were made, it's motor oil. And no humans have ever dealt with this issue. But since the 60s, the climb on seed oil is like this. It's like all human history, like this. And now 32% of the calories Americans take in each day are from seed oils.
Yeah.
And so they're fatter, even though they were just eating even the same thing, just because there's all these extra calories, empty calories jammed into things. So we have to work against our own senses of, oh, this tastes good. This is convenient. Nobody's had fast food on every intersection. Nobody's been able to order food to their door, and throughout history, people had this fight to acquire more calories than you consumed for your family, throughout a whole calendar year to keep them alive during the winter and these things. That's always been the struggle. And so we're programmed with a certain amount of calorie burn to kind of what God kind of thought we could kind of produce and gather, and then, from Egypt on, as soon as we could gather grain, it kind of became a little bit of thing. The Sumerians did that as well. So that's a new issue we've had here of, okay, how do we recalibrate our food system, because we have, too much.
Yeah.
And there's, corruption there. Technology. How do we operate in a world where, man, maybe it's more convenient. People will have virtual relationships of people that, in a cyber goggle world, there's all of these new things. They're like, well, what do we do with that? Like the TikTok question is just a little baby question compared to the severity of some of these other things, that we have to grapple with as humans, integrating technology in our world in a way of, like, we weren't supposed to have lights. Let's just say that. Lights, all of a sudden you introduce lights. Well, lights, now you work in night shifts.
Yeah.
True.
And I don't know that people's marriages and their health are better than they were 100 years ago, where you're sort of limited to sun activity, or 120 years ago. So all of these things introduce this new technology, and it's like, well, is that better for us?
Yeah.
Are we better served continuing on this conveyor belt?
I mean, there's pros and cons to everything. You had asked about the ethical dilemma, and I was just thinking, it reminded me of Glenn Beck did a show last week.
Okay.
Where he was testing DeepSeek.
Okay. Love Glenn.
Was asking it questions, and the answers were very pro CCP.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
So if people are around the world are going to be asking DeepSeek questions, and you're getting a communist ideology being filtered into people, maybe they're going to be young people, maybe they're going to be old people, maybe. So to me, that is probably the main ethical dilemma is, it's just like teaching your kids. Who do you want to teach your kids? Some communist teacher?
No way.
Most kids are taught by that.
You're right.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen shows that you've done with homeschool moms and everything else. This is why they do that, right? You train your kids in the way that they should go, and they won't depart from it, right? So we've got a whole country here that's now getting information. They want to reprogram, like what they've done over gender issues and race issues and class warfare over the last couple of decades. Right?
Yep.
Why would we want a CCP artificial engine teaching us anything?
Right.
Well, because when it's asked about, Tiananmen Square, it's like, never happened. Don't know what you're talking about. But, ours is doing the same thing, because our founding fathers were all trans, people.
According to
it was the AI here. So it created an image of the founding fathers, and it's like they were all DEI hires, which is kind of crazy. So let's look at this in the business world. I've seen videos with tech experts explaining we're about 6 months from you being able to have a website and you're selling a supplement and it's going great. I look at that and say, okay, AI, make me a website that looks just like Kirk's, and but also make it available in India, and it does market research and says no, India is not as good as this other country. They would really love this caffeine based supplement over there or something, and so it manufactures it, does the market research, does A/B testing, and does this all for me without a staff, without people. And you think, well, that's a really neat, handy, fast way to do that, but eventually, what does everybody have that? Colton saw a guy, he's a tech guy that used AI to run and purchase things at 70% of their value on Facebook Marketplace and simultaneously be listing them for sale with a better listing, better picture, and AI was doing that for him. Mm-hmm. And you think, well, that's a neat, hack for him. But you need a certain amount of real people that are like, I'm selling this toaster and I'm going to go to the Applebee's parking lot and meet this person to say, like that's what makes it all work. If all of a sudden you dominate all the Facebook sales, right? And it's all AIs buying from each other. Again, you end up with people that aren't no longer, you no longer have the fuel in the engine that actually makes it all relevant.
Yeah.
I mean, what are we doing?
I mean, I'm already seeing this and experiencing every single week. There's review sites out there. Now, I'll type in my name, and there's always some dumb review site that supposedly is saying all the pros and cons of Kirk Elliott Precious Metals. And then you get to the end of it, and it's like, you could do business with it, and then there's an ad for some other dealer. Sure. It's like, what in the world? I mean, but
it's like McDonald's running a review site of Burger King.
Yeah, all of these reviews sound almost exactly the same. You know that some AI bot's doing it. But somebody mimicked our website, spelled my name with one T instead of two, or one L instead of two L's, right? And it looks like exactly the same.
We get fake Kirk Elliott's in our comment section all the time.
Oh, yeah.
All the time. And so, as a warning to everybody out there is, okay, there's really only two ways to reach us, right? Your link.
Flyovergold.com.
Flyovergold.com, or call 720-605-3900.
Yep.
I will never give out my personal email to anybody.
Right.
Ever. Right? We don't have another phone number other than that.
Yep.
You're not going to come in the contact section and say, hey, contact me directly, and it's Kirk Elliott at yahoo.com or something, that. Like, he's not going to be in our comment section trying to redirect you.
Or on WhatsApp or on WeChat where we're speaking
Messenger.
in broken English. It's like, that's not us.
No.
Yeah. I mean, so we have to be more wise and discerning. If it sounds, everyone knows by this point who's been watching this show, we charge 8% when you purchase, 0% when you liquidate. We're not going to give somebody a smoking deal. I mean, we just had somebody that thought they were talking to me.
Oh, no.
And they got ripped off.
Oh, no.
Like, bad. But it's like, yeah, we're going to give you 3 ounces of gold for $3,000 total. It's like, what? I mean, gold's $3,000 an ounce.
How are they going to do that? Yeah.
Well, they fell for it. We had it in inventory and we needed to get rid of it, and so we'll give you a special discount. They never got delivery of anything. Somebody just took $3,000 from them. It's like, and it breaks my heart.
It does. That's so sad.
But anyways, this is the danger of artificial intelligence. This is the danger of these kind of things, and you just have to be wise. You have to be discerning. I mean, no different than when the Bible tells us to test the prophets, right?
Yes.
It's like, use God's word, make sure that any prophet speaking aligns with God's word, right? And there's a lot to be thankful for in this world, and there's a lot to be careful of.
Definitely.
In this world.
Being wise.
Yeah. Absolutely.
For sure.
And in a world of technology, it's more important to have human relationships with people that you trust and that you know. And again, not every listener knows you, and they've seen us for 4 years talking about these topics. And we've known you for 25 years. Your dad was a mentor of ours when we were first married. Now we're doing marriage conferences, repurposing some of his ideas.
Exactly.
The history is there. And in a world where there's so much manipulation and you don't know who you're really talking to, and there's predators online, sexual predators. They're like, hey, I'm a 13-year-old girl, and and it's like, that's a scary place for your kids to be online. They don't know who they're talking to.
Yep.
It's more important that we all do our own due diligence, and then also cement these relationships with people that are real, that they actually pick up the phone and talk to, and it's a real person right here.
Yeah. So true. I mean, I tell my team every single day, every single week, it's like, try not to text, try to call people.
Yeah.
Right? Because that interaction is so important. That's what builds trust. Relationship always builds trust.
Definitely.
That's why marriages have problems. It's why businesses have problems. If people don't communicate, there's not going to be trust established. So this is why we have this model. And I know that it's different. It's why we don't have an e-commerce site. Why you can't just go on our website and buy gold and silver and have us ship it to you without talking to anybody. Hey, you don't understand the markets, you might get something that's not suitable for you.
Right.
And so we want to hear your dreams. We want to hear your goals. We want to learn about you. Do you want growth? Do you want safety? Are you close to retirement? Are you young? I mean, these are all the things that we put together in our strategy for people, but that only comes through relationship.
That's right.
Only. Can't do it any other way.
Nope. So
anyways, I just wanted to take that little brief moment to warn people that the dangers of AI are not just being reprogrammed into CCP ideology. It's having an impact on everything that we do. I mean, before you know it, maybe it's already happening. There'll be videos of you guys that aren't actually you.
Right.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
You see them with Joe Rogan all the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't even know if Joe Rogan would be able to tell.
Right.
I mean, they're getting really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
Really good.
It's so true. You know, David and I, like you were saying, we've obviously known Dr. Kirk a long time, but something that we hear over and over again is not how much just that we trust you and we are so thankful for you, but we hear over and over again, thank you so much for introducing us to Dr. Kirk Elliott and his team. You know, like we can sleep at night. That's truly the best contact that we've gotten from you guys. We're just so thankful. And we hear that over and over and over again. So we just want to thank you for taking care of our flyover family, taking care of us, taking care of
our real family.
Our real family. We
our
really,
parents and kids and everybody are all customers of yours.
That's absolutely my pleasure.
We really do appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. We will bend over backwards to help whoever comes our way, because I know that if it were my mom, I would want somebody to take care of her.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
And that's how we treat everybody.
You do. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So